Hey everyone, and welcome to RUBIN'S Mind Lab, where we break down the latest research into what it really means. Ever wonder if really getting into meditation could actually change your brain and body in profound ways? Well, buckle up, because this study dives deep into that very question, looking at people who have been meditating for a long time. Imagine someone who has been meditating for years, maybe even decades. What's happening inside them beyond just feeling a bit calmer? This research dives into the idea that long-term, even advanced, meditation isn't just a mental hobby, but a whole-body intervention that can reshape how we function. They reviewed dozens of studies to see what the science says about these experienced meditators and their mental health. So, the big question is this: what are the real measurable brain and body changes that happen with consistent, long-term meditation practice? And how do these changes translate into better mental health and overall well-being? The scientists looked at studies that used all sorts of tools. They scanned brains to see what parts lit up or changed in structure. They measured heart rates and stress hormones. They even looked at gene activity. They wanted to see how these long-term meditators compared to people who didn't meditate. They gathered information from over 50 studies and found 6 main areas where these meditators showed significant differences. First up, general well-being. It turns out these long-term meditators often report feeling a lot better overall. This isn't just about not being sick, but about having a real sense of happiness and quality of life. They found that things like increased mindfulness, compassion, and even a sense of equanimity, that calm, even-keeled state of mind, were common. And here is where it gets interesting. They saw structural changes in the brain. For example, meditators had more gray matter volume, which is like the brain's processing power, in areas related to executive control and attention. Some studies even saw changes in the hippocampus, which is key for memory and dealing with stress. Then they looked at interpersonal functioning. Think about how you relate to others. Long-term meditation, especially practices focused on kindness and compassion, seem to boost this. They found that meditators reported stronger feelings of compassion, not just for people they knew well, but for everyone. And get this, the science suggests this might be linked to a reduced focus on the self and a softening of the boundary between self and others. Brain scans showed less activity in areas associated with self-referential processing, like the precuneus. In these experienced meditators, this could mean they're less caught up in their own thoughts and more open to others. Next, emotion regulation. This is a huge one for mental health. How do we handle our feelings, especially the tough ones? The research indicates that long-term meditators are way better at managing their emotional reactions. When faced with stressful or negative situations, they don't get as overwhelmed. Their brains show different patterns, especially in the amygdala, the brain's alarm system, which seems to be less reactive. They also show changes in brain areas like the prefrontal cortex, which helps us with executive functions and controlling our impulses. A really fascinating area is how meditators deal with pain. It's not that they don't feel pain, but they experience it differently. This is called sensory affective uncoupling. Think of it like this: the raw sensory information of pain comes in, but the emotional reaction to it is dialed down. Studies show that experienced meditators report similar levels of pain intensity, but much lower levels of unpleasantness. Brain scans show they're less likely to have those strong anticipatory reactions in areas like the insula. This is a pretty significant finding because it suggests we can learn to not be so disturbed by physical discomfort, which has big implications for chronic pain. Then we have stress resilience. Life throws a lot at us, and how well we bounce back is key to our mental health. Long-term meditators seem to have a built-in buffer against stress. Their bodies and brains are better at managing the stress response. Not necessarily by avoiding stress, but by recovering from it more quickly. We're talking about calmer nervous systems, better regulation of stress hormones like cortisol, and even changes at the molecular level, like reduced inflammation markers in the body, which are linked to chronic stress. Finally, psychiatric symptom prevention. This research ties together all the previous points. By improving well-being, emotion regulation, and stress resilience, long-term meditation appears to be a powerful tool for preventing the onset or worsening of psychiatric disorders. Think of it as building up a strong mental immune system. Areas of the brain that are often overactive in conditions like depression and anxiety, like the default mode network associated with rumination, seem to be modulated in long-term meditators. They also found changes in gut bacteria, suggesting the gut-brain connection is also at play, which is super exciting. So, what is is the big takeaway here? This isn't just about feeling good. It is about fundamental changes in how our brains and bodies function. Long-term meditation seems to create a protective architecture. It enhances our ability to focus, regulate emotions, and face pain and stress with greater ease. The research highlights that the benefits aren't just linear. It is not always about simply more hours equals more benefits. Sometimes the quality of the meditation matters more, especially when you get into advanced practices. This is where the idea of advanced meditation comes in, going beyond just hours logged to reaching specific levels of mastery and deeper states of consciousness. Now, it is important to be critical. Most of these studies are cross-sectional, meaning they look at meditators and non-meditators at one point in time. This makes it hard to say for sure that meditation caused these changes. It's possible that people who are already predisposed to certain traits are more drawn to meditation. More longitudinal studies, where people are followed over time, are definitely needed. Also, defining long-term or advanced meditation varies a lot between studies, which makes comparing them tricky. But even with these limitations, the story is compelling. This research paints a picture of meditation as a powerful systemic brain-body intervention. It gives us hope that by cultivating our minds, we can profoundly impact our physical health, our emotional well-being, and our resilience to life's challenges. Future research will likely explore these advanced states even further, revealing even more about the incredible potential of the human mind and body. What do you think about these findings? Are you a long-term meditator or inspired to start? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to RUBIN'S Mind Lab for more science explained, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. Thanks for watching.